Okay, let us start now. Kayena vacha chittena pamadena maya katang achayang kamame bhante bhuri panya tata kata kayena vacha chittena pamadena maya katang achayang kamame dhamma sanditika akalika kayena vacha chittena pamadena maya katang achayang kamame sangha supatipana anuttara sa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Tisarana gamanang paripunang panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Adina dana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Abrahmacharya veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Musavada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Surameraya macha pamadatana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Vikala bojana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Nacha Gita Vadita Visuka Dasana Malaganda Vilepana Dharana Mandana Vibhusanatana Veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Uccasayana Mahasayana Veramani Sikkapadang Samadhiyami Idang Me Silang Magapala Nyanasa Pachayo Hotu Appamadena Sampadeta Sa Sa. All right, let us do some guided karuna before we start. We sit here, relax the body, let go of all the tiredness, tension, refresh the mind and the body. Keep the mind calm and peaceful, present, mindful. Relax from top of the head, forehead and face. Any tension in the neck or shoulders, let it all go. On the arms, on the chest, the stomach area, spine, the back, down to the hips, the buttocks, down to our thighs, knees, calves, ankles, soles, toes. So relax the body and keep the mind open, calm, and peaceful. Whatever physical suffering that I'm going through, may I be free from all these sufferings. Whatever aches or pains, illness or diseases, may I be free from all these sufferings. Whatever mental sufferings that I'm going through, may I be free from all these sufferings. Whatever anxiety, planning, anger, jealousy, may I be free from all these mental sufferings. Whatever sufferings that I go through from day to day, due to striving, due to earning a living, and so on, may I too be free from all these sufferings. Whatever suffering due to the cycle of birth and rebirth due to old age, sickness, death, and rebirth, may be free from all these sufferings. Now let us reach out. Let us expand our compassion to all the beings around here, to the monks and nuns, to the yogis, to the helpers, volunteers, to to all the workers, donors, sponsors, to all the guardian devas of this center, to all other devas around here, to all betas, and to all the animals in the neighborhood, seen or unseen, big or small. May all of us here, whatever mental suffering that we are going through, may we all be free from all these sufferings. Whatever physical sufferings, physical pain that we are going through, may we all too be free from all these sufferings. Whatever suffering that we go through from day to day, may we all be free from all these sufferings. And whatever suffering due to the cycle of birth and rebirth, may we all be free from all these sufferings. Whatever mental suffering that we are going through, may we all be free from all these sufferings. Whatever physical suffering that we are undergoing, may we all be free from all this suffering. Whatever suffering due to going through from day to day, earning a living, striving, responsibility, and so on. May too we all be free from all these sufferings. And whatever suffering we go through, due to the nature of birth and rebirth, to the nature of samsara, may we all too be free from all this suffering. Now let us expand. Let us reach out our compassion to all the beings in this country. May they be humans or non-humans, devas or petas, Animals, big or small, far or near, seen or unseen. May all beings in this country, whatever mental suffering they are undergoing, may they be free from all those sufferings. Whatever physical pain, whatever diseases, illnesses that they are going through, may they all be free from all this suffering. Whatever suffering they go through from day to day, may they all be free from all this suffering. And whatever suffering due to the nature of birth and rebirth, may they all be free from all this suffering. Let us expand further. Let us reach out to all the beings in this world. Let our compassion envelops the whole world. Whether they are our loved ones near or far away, or those people whom we do not know, wherever they are, or to those whom we dislike or those who dislike us, to all the guardian devas of the sasana, to all other devas residing in this world, to all the betas, the unfortunate beings, and to all the animals, big or small, far or near, seen or unseen. May all beings in this world, without exception, whatever mental suffering that they are going through, anger or jealousy, fear or sadness, may they all be free from all this suffering. Whatever physical pain due to aches, illnesses, diseases, may they all too be free from all their suffering. Whatever suffering they go through from day to day, earning a living, seeking for food or shelter, various responsibilities, may they all be free from all their suffering. May all beings in this world able to live in peace and not in war. Live with kindness and compassion and not in cruelty or violence. Whatever suffering due to the cycle of birth and rebirth, may they all be free from all their suffering. Now let us reach out. Let us go as far as the mind can imagine to all the beings without exception, to all beings in this universe or universes, to all beings from the highest planes of existence down to the lowest planes of existence, and all beings in all the world systems. May all beings without exception, whatever mental suffering they're going through, may they be free from all their suffering. Whatever anger, fear, sadness, anxiety, and so on, may they be free from all their mental suffering. And whatever physical suffering that they are going through, may they all be free from all their physical suffering. And whatever suffering they go through from day to day, may they too be free from all their suffering. And whatever suffering they go through due to the cycle of birth and rebirth, due to birth, aging, sickness, death, may they all be free from all their suffering. May all suffering ones be suffering free. May all suffering ones be suffering free. May all beings be free from all sufferings. Now let go of the compassion. Bring the attention back again to the body, to rise and fall, to the sensation, to the present, here and now. Then we slowly open up our eyes. Okay. So we have been talking about uh, the first four factors on mindfulness. Then we talk about the investigation of Dhamma. Then we talk about also effort, and we talk about joy. This, as I said, the second, the investigation of Dhamma, the effort and joy, they all can group together as the effort group or the active group, because their nature is to make the mind active in different various ways. Even sometimes in the Visuddhimagga, I've also read that mindfulness also in a way is an active state. So, mindfulness, but in the seven factors of enlightenment, mindfulness is standing on its own. Yeah? Because the more mindfulness that you have, the better it is. But you cannot say for the other six. The other six, you need to balance them. Yeah? Too much, then too much of something, let's say too much of joy, then it can turn the mind into agitation. Or sometimes you overexert to note it very precisely, and you overdo it, then also it can turn into a lot of agitation of the mind. Uh, so we must learn to balance them. The other second, third, and fourth, also five, six, and seven. So the more mindfulness, the better it is. So therefore, we can look at mindfulness like a balancer. That is to say that when the mindfulness is there, it knows whether the mind is in a stable condition or whether the mind is not in a stable condition, not in a balanced manner. That is to say, if the mind goes into imbalance, the mindfulness is already know what is going on, because those states that imbalance in the mind, they are also a present mental states. So the mindfulness knows what is going on. So that is good. So mindfulness have many purpose. So the more mindfulness that we have, then this meditation has got a very strong foundation for development. In the Buddhist types of meditation, all the 40 types of meditation, all the 40 types of samatha meditation and vipassana meditation, everything you must start with mindfulness. If you don't start with mindfulness, then there's a lot of problem, a lot. All kinds of problem arises. If you start metta without mindfulness, then also problem. You start with anapanasati, got anapana but no sati, also problem. A lot of times people don't realize. They don't realize that they take mindfulness as something as like going into a very calm mental state. And then it becomes, because of lack of understanding of the nature of this mindfulness. So that's why, as I said, in the retreat, every retreat, you hear me talk about mindfulness, because that is essential. Sometimes when we go into a long retreat, as some of you are going through a long retreat, there are days the mind doesn't cooperate. The mind is totally like, don't know where. Yesterday was a very good day, let's say, today is like a wreck. So when this happens, normally what we do is that we just let go of everything and start off with mindfulness again. Everything, don't worry about whether should I balance it with more effort, more calm, less calm. Sometimes you may just forget about it. Restart everything, right step, left step, right step, left step. The moment you start to do that and you bring everything down, build up the mindfulness again, then after a short while, when the mind is clear, then everything will build up quite fast in a balanced manner. Because here, when you are in a longer retreat, you are not in the first day. So the build up can be quite fast. It takes just sometimes half of the morning, or perhaps the longer, maybe one day, just to calm the whole mind down. When we talk about the active part of the nature of the mind, we look at it usually like in the beginning of the retreat, you have to keep pushing. That means you have to keep arousing a lot of effort to be mindful of your eating, biting, chewing, opening door, closing door, drinking, as mindful as you can, to keep the mind present. And at the same time, whenever the opportunity is there, we try to be precise. That is to say, you notice your intentions, you notice your movement of your arms, how the whole chewing process is taking place. Those things we make the effort and we begin to notice more precision in the noting. And when it comes to the walking again, the precision of noting, being mindful, being precise, that is to say, start off with your first phase, second phase, then only go to your third phase. Make sure that the body needs to some relaxation. Body needs to be calm so that the precision of noting can arise. If the body is not ready, the mind is not ready, then the deeper aspect of noting will not able to come up. That clearly, even it comes up, it's not able to stay. Not only we want the mindfulness, but also we want it the sustainable type of mindfulness, the continuous type of mindfulness. Then only things gets prolonged deeper. Like in the first few days that some of you are here, first few days, there's always a lot of sleepiness, drowsiness, sitting, there's nothing much. Yeah? So here in the sitting, don't worry about it too much. There's nothing you can gain much from the sitting right now. It's only from the walking and the daily activities that you can able to bring up a lot of mindfulness. And with that, as the mindfulness starts getting clearer, then only the sitting usually will start becoming clearer after 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, depending on each and every yogi. Yeah? Some yogis take 2 or 3 days because they come for regular retreats. And some of us, like, this is the first retreat after 2 or 3 years, or 5 years, or 10 years. Then, therefore, you need to make a lot of effort. But the problem is, a lot of us want calm, want peace. In the beginning part of the retreat, this vipassana, usually we don't have much peace yet. The peace comes later. The calm comes later. As long as your mind is not agitated into thinking and all that, still actively noticing, then actually the peace is at the background already. It's not prominent, but it's in the background. And it's helpful for the noting at this time. But once in a while we are doing vipassana, then this type of calm and peace will start to become more clearer. And that is where also we need to look into it too. Yeah? So we're going to this area of tranquility, concentration, and equanimity, upekkha. So here, this type of states, these 3 states, they fall under what we call the samadhi group, the calm group. Now, this becomes quite interesting because a lot of us don't realize that how this type of calmness comes in. Now, sometimes you hear Dhamma talks from monks or you read, from monks, nuns, or lay people, when they talk about peace or calm, different speaker can mean the calm differently. It's not the same for every person. Because how they experience the nature of calm is, of course, then they share it out now. Yeah? Some people feels calm as like in tranquility type of calm. Some people feels calm like the concentrated type of calm. And some people feels calm like the equanimous type of calm. So everything that they know is calm and peace. So sometimes you hear Dhamma talk, and they say calm. So just be aware that what they say and what you felt in your meditation or your development, it can mean a bit different thing. Perhaps they are not wrong. You also not wrong. It's just different way of experiencing it. All right, it's just different way of experiencing. So too, like when we talk about the affect group also, so the mind is active. So which area, if the mind is active, is it active with the elation, the elated type of mind, with the joy, with the thrill, or is it elated because of, or is it because active because there's effort there, or is it active because it's noting there? So again here, different people experience differently. So the calm again here, because these things are not experienced by many Buddhist devotees. And when it comes with the calm, that also has its danger. Just like we talk about in the joy, it got its own danger. So too, like in calm, there's also has its danger. In fact, all the different types of calmness also got this danger. It's depends on how you experience it. So next time, as I said again, when you listen to the Dhamma talk, when they say the word calm, if you understand the nature of the mind, especially if you understand the 7 factors of enlightenment, and you understand the characteristics of the mind, at least a bit on the theoretical aspect, perhaps you can able to judge or can able to know what the speaker is talking about, what type of calm or peace they are talking about. And makes life more interesting. If not, sometimes we cannot connect. Okay, so let us talk about tranquility right now. The Pali word is passaddhi, P-A-S-S-A, D-D-H-I, I think. Is it? Let me see. Okay, double S, double D. Yes. Now, so the word is tranquility. Sometimes they use the word calm. Whereas not afterwards, and you go to if you go to concentration later another day, then you use peace again for concentration. Now here the word calm or tranquility here, the word passaddhi here. The nature of this passaddhi is the nature is what we call to remove, what is the word? Disquietude. Let me put this on. you call it like quieting the mind, to make the mind quiet. Other words, its function is to remove what we call noisiness of the mind, disquietude. If you don't know English that good, quiet means calm, calm. Disquiet means agitated type of mind, very noisy. Uh, uh, so we're going to explain it a little bit more, but just to give you uh, the heading of it. When we look at calmness, when we look at this tranquility, also there are um, two types how the tranquility affecting the mind. It affects, according to Abhidhamma, it affects the consciousness, and also it affects the mental factors. All right. In Abhidhamma, it splits into these two areas. Um, but we don't have to worry about it too much in our practice. No? Actually, you can see it also in the practice also. But it's just that sometimes you cannot really go and differentiate the whole thing. As long as the mind is quiet, good enough lah. Because sometimes it is so noisy. It is so, a lot of chattering inside there. Yeah. Sometimes you meditate, rising, falling, sitting, touching, or whatever, lifting, pushing. And here on top of it, there's always the mind trying to comment what is going on. Chattering, and then here you try to lifting, pushing, and, and, and this thing won't stop. And more the problem is that some of us, I think all of us every day start analyzing, thinking for the whole life, been doing like that. So a lot of us are like that. Here you try to meditate, and here on top of it, you try to comment on what is going on. And this is called the disquietness of the mind. The noisy part of the mind. And it's also, of course, it can come in as a lot of thinking, a lot of planning, a lot of memories of the past, and it's just so noisy, so agitated. So what does tranquility comes in when tranquility comes in, all this commentary, all this talking, mental talking to yourself or to your imagined half, or whatever, everything is all eliminated, all quiet down. But when I say quiet down, doesn't mean that the mind is not noting. The mind is fully noting on all the objects. It's just that there's no chattering there. Calm, peace. And yet the mind is active. When we use the word calm, tranquility does not mean that when you go meditation, you sit there until nothing, blank, and everything is off. Like slowly you sit down. Some people meditate like that. They sit down. They thought that they are doing samatha meditation, or they thought that they're doing vipassana meditation. The moment they sit down, they want to have that calm. So they sit down and then they make everything calm and peaceful, nice, quiet. And they thought that they are doing meditation. If you are doing it, you better reconsider all your nature of your meditation. This is not the way what the Buddha thought. This is not how the mind develops. In fact, that it's what the Buddha called stuck internally. Stuck internally? Stuck internally because all this nice mental state. What is stuck externally? What is all your external beauty? All your wealth and gains and people and assets and bank account. All you attach to it. Uh, Not to say that we don't have attachment, it's make sure that you don't go into obsessiveness. Obsessiveness, that is problematic. But in the mind one, it's hard to see. A lot of times, because we have never seen these things before, the moment the mind gets obsessive with these things, they don't realize it. And they can meditate there and they sit there for years and years. I mean, for sitting after sitting, they do it like that. For years and years, they do like that until they realize that they are not going anywhere. There are many people do like that. Many, I tell you honestly speaking. Places that I've gone, places that I've, people that I've met, then when they talk about meditation, they talk about especially this type of calm and peace. Very beautiful, very nice. The mind is just grip on it. Every time you sit down, it's all about that. So to them, it's peace. To them, it's peace. Even sometimes when you hear the Dhamma talk also, when sometimes I hear the Dhamma talks from, from monks and nuns and from even lay people, then when I hear from them, they talk about peace. And then how they describe the whole peace, I know sometimes, say liao. They already get attached to it already. And they don't realize it. A lot of the way they describe the things, it's to do with the grasp on the calm mental state. This tranquility is not something that you see in the beginning of a meditation, especially like in the Vipassana meditation. Because in the beginning of the Vipassana meditation, you find a lot of different forms of suffering, bodily suffering especially, different types of bodily suffering. But the thing is that when the bodily suffering is there, at the back of the mind is already shouting already. Please, faster, time, how long, and so on, The day, as I said, when I talk about the effort, I talk about pain for the whole hour. Some people asking for their mother to come to help them with the pain. Some people ask whatever power they can get to help them with the pain. So the mind is not calm. The mind is totally, they try to note, but the mind is already in a state of agitation. But when you go into the more deeper level, as you advance in the meditation, then when it comes into the pain, strong pain, and yet the mind is quiet, noting it, without thinking of the time, without thinking of the what is it, and so on, whether your leg is going to break, your nerve is going to break, or whether it's going to give you an injury, and so on, your mind is totally not disturbed by all these type of things. Then the mind is just quietly observing what is going on at that moment of time. So it's not an easy feat. It comes in with the development of the mind. So, so as I said, the tranquility, it eliminates all the disturbances. It eliminates all the noises, the commentary, the everything inside the mind. And it's wonderful. It's wonderful. You don't go and look for it, no, tomorrow. It still won't come in. But once in a while, it may just pop up, At least when it pop up, don't get attached to it. Just know that it's just tranquility. Because once in a while, it may come up in a yogi, once in a while. Now, sometimes when you do your walking or when you do your sitting meditation, rising, falling, lifting, pushing, dropping, you used to able to do a lot of labeling. Together with the lifting, you label it as lifting, pushing, dropping. Then here sometimes you notice that labeling also cannot make. The mind is not able to make the labeling, but the mind can still able to note what is going on. Yeah? That means the mind can able to see what is still going on without the labeling. You want to make the labeling, also it didn't come. That, in other words, that time tranquility is quite strong for that period of time. So even with that, so the tranquility itself, it removes all the labeling also, because the labeling at certain time, as you go into the deeper aspect of meditation, the labeling is a, a commentary. The labeling becomes a disturbance. Uh, uh, so at that time, we drop the labeling. We drop the labeling and just observe. Or even at that time when the tranquility is strong, the labeling will not able to come in. Any thoughts, not just only labeling, but any thoughts, even small little thoughts or big thoughts, or those thoughts that affected you for a long period of time. Let's say your sadness type of certain phobia that you have gone through, this type of tranquility, it's move them away, push them all aside. Then the mind just note what is in the present moment. Interesting, isn't it? Yeah. That is where difficult to achieve. And it's already there in you. Yeah, all of us, we have all these qualities. It's just that when the condition as the development has not come deep enough, then this type of tranquility is not so obvious. And as I said again here, let me repeat it again. Tranquility doesn't mean that the mind is dull and nothing there. The mind is fully able to notice everything, accept all the noises, accept all the labeling, accept all everything. So it is interesting. So it's still very actively noting. Not like the earlier, just now the example I said, some people just sit down there and nothing. And they thought that that is calm and tranquil and peaceful. And that is not. That is not. In fact, according to Abhidhamma, tranquility is supposed to be always a mental wholesome state. It's always a mental wholesome state. But because it comes with pleasant mental feelings, it comes with pleasant mental feelings, then people attach to the pleasant feelings actually. Which is connected to all these things, connected to tranquility. So, so this tranquility is interesting. Something that this is a rare thing for yogi to notice. A lot of times, as the yogi begins, goes into the deeper aspect of meditation, there's a lot of arising, passing away. Things are changing. Things are changing in a quite fast manner. That time, labeling also, you cannot able to notice what is going on. You cannot label. You cannot label. You can't even label, because you know that time when you label it, it's going to block the noting already at that time. So that time you consciously put the whole labeling aside and just observe what is going on. That is good. But a lot of these times, although yet you are noticing these things, the tranquility is not as a prominent object. The tranquility is more an a background object, doing its job just to clear all your thoughts and kind of like protect the whole mind from all the thinking from and all the commentary from coming in. So that's why right in the beginning, when you start off with meditation, or whether you're halfway in meditation and so on, as much of your commentary about what you notice and object, try to put it aside as best as you can. Even you have to think whether this is impermanence or this is dukkha or this is anatta and everything. Put all this commentary aside. Because this is not the wisdom that you are supposed to gain, The wisdom that is gained is through fully on the observation of what is going on. The day I talk about wisdom factor, the wisdom under the investigation of Dhamma. As I said that a lot of times, the wisdom factor you have, the first one is what? The wisdom that comes from hearing, the right type of thing. Second one, it comes from reflection or pondering or hear commentary. And the third one, it's come from mental development. That means you pay direct attention to what is going on. So a lot of times, when a yogi observe an object, what is going on, they tend to go back to the second type, where it comes into a lot of pondering and reflection and so on. And because of that, it slows down the whole meditation practice. The more that you learn to give up on this commentary, the better it is actually. Because the type of impermanence, the type of dukkha, the type of anatta that comes up is not through thinking. It's not through thinking. It's not through pondering. It's not through that commentary. But we are so used to comment in everything that we do. We cannot live without that commenting. We don't realize that a lot of us are very attached to all this commentary. The craving for it, the craving for understanding, mental understanding, the theoretical understanding. We crave for all these things and we don't realize it. To ask you to let it go and just observe squarely, very difficult. The mind at the top must comment. Yeah, it's always have that thing. But it's the nature of us. It's part of all our nature. But the thing is that as a vipassana meditator, it is know where to go to, which object that you are supposed to go to pay attention to, and not fall in too much in this commentary. So if you're too much in the commentary, too much in the thinking about what is going on, then it slows down the practice. And therefore, the tranquility is going to be difficult for it to come up. It's very difficult. Now, this type of tranquility, it is so helpful in many things within our practice. It's so helpful. As I said here, this quietude, the noisiness and everything, not necessarily only it's all your thinking mind, but it also can be your mind that comes with sensual desire. Also is agitated. Mind that comes with anger or ill will also is agitated. Mind that comes with a lot of worry also is agitated. Mind that comes with skeptical doubt also is agitated. So therefore, tranquility, when it comes in, all your hindrances all take a break, which is good. Which is good, to stop all the hindrances from coming in. And we're going to look into it also. We're going to look into it. There are a few things that I'm going to look into it in the next coming a few days now. One is on the area of the state of mind that is connected with tranquility, or how tranquility overcomes these difficult mental states, which is also included concentration and tranquility, equanimity too. It cannot like totally squarely on just tranquility alone. the other two also helpful. Yeah? So when we deal with these different mental states, especially the unwholesome mental state or the hindrances, then here the other three are always become, they will be helpful, because these types of hindrances, there's to do a lot of mental agitation. Uh, the agitation either is connected with sensual desire, agitation connected with anger, agitation connected with worry, agitation, just agitation. Random agitation, just different type of thoughts coming in. You do not know. There are certain agitation comes on a specific theme, then it makes the mind very doubtful. The mind to lose its confidence. That also, we're going to look into it also. Yeah. We're going to look into just also this tranquility that is also just like a vipassana upakilesa, that is which people get attached to it, which I mentioned to it earlier on. Then it get attached to it, and all kinds of wrong views and wrong thinking and all pop up also. Yeah. We can learn also, we're going to look into how all this balancing, not just only talking about effort and normally concentration, but effort. But now, because we are talking of the calm group, then when it comes to balancing of the mind also, we're going to use a bit of tranquility and also on the equanimity also. Yeah? We're going to mix them together and see what are the results. Yeah? See how the whole mind develops. Yeah? That will coming in the next like a number of days. Yeah. Uh, no. Tonight, tonight, now I'm going to talk now. Should I talk this one or talk that one? Uh, no, tranquility here. As I said earlier on, they do not come up in the beginning of the retreat. Usually, most of the time, they do not come up in the beginning of the retreat. They come up in the deeper part of the retreat, especially when it arises once in a while. For some yogis, this tranquility is more obvious compared to like concentration or equanimity. Some people, concentration more obvious. Some people, equanimity is more obvious. Okay, different yogis have different this one. When it comes to a deeper insight, the deeper development of the mind, especially that time, you may find a lot of pain also. And when the pain is not there, you also find a lot of pleasant feelings also, pleasant meditation also at that time. Yeah. So that time, when there is a two contrasting states of feelings or mind states, then for the yogi, sometimes it uh, can be quite difficult for them to meditate. At one part, they like it because it's pleasant. The other part, the pain is also as strong, as equally strong, or if not stronger. So the pain can be very obvious, and yet all the pleasant states of mind are sometimes for some yogis become more obvious. Okay? The pleasant type of what is more obvious to the yogi is that, as I say again, different yogis will experience the pleasant states of mind differently. Some people experience like the joy more strongly compared to the tranquility. Or some people experience more pleasant feelings of the mind, mental pleasant feelings, chitta sukha, pleasant feelings, more obvious than others. Now, some people experience faith, for example. Again, this type of people, they experience faith, very strong faith, and they get elated also. That means joy is at the background, but the faith is more on the foreground. Yeah? The other one, as I said earlier, one with the joy as a foreground, as the more stronger, more predominant, is like the type of cocoon type of joy, wave type of joy, the different joy that becomes quite prominent to the yogi. Now, some yogis experience more calm type. Calm type is like tranquility, is very calm, very peaceful. Yeah? Calm in the sense that the mind is quiet. All the thinking and all the hindrances is all gone, including sloth and torpor too. It's all gone. And the mind is alert and clear. Calm, no commentary, able to notice what is going on. But for some yogis, this tranquility can get stronger and stronger and stronger until the whole mind becomes quiet, can still able to notice something. But the problem is that the yogis at this time, because it's calm, it doesn't want to make an effort anymore. It's nicer. Because once you make the effort, you're going to disturb all this type of peacefulness really. Yeah. When you start to make an effort, it's going to start disturbing that pleasant state of mind. So normally what the yogis do is that when they come to that state, they tone down all their noting already. They tone down. They tone down and then it's calm. The mind's still somewhat mindful, not to say that they are not mindful. But sometimes yogi thought that this is a better way because it does not see a lot of pain. It doesn't see so much pain that is so contrasting in nature. And the moment you have that type of peace, the mind wants it. And it wants to cool the whole mind and just stay there, then just rest. Just rest. Song. Yeah. And that is happening, And when it comes to you, you also will like it. It's very tempting because you've never seen it before. And it comes up very tempting. It's very nice. Yeah? So it's so nice that you don't have to make an effort to note all your objects. So what happens is that the mind begins to attach. Slowly, the craving slowly build up from the background already. Begin to attach to it. Slowly and slowly, because the craving comes up, the mindfulness starts to drop already. It starts to drop and then slowly. Then after some time, what the yogi did is just sit down and just hold on and make the mind as calm, as peaceful as possible. All the labeling, all the rising, falling, all the sensation, it doesn't want to note anymore. So the mind just remain just calm and peaceful. That is how a yogi gets attached to this state of peace or this state of tranquility. It also happens the same as a samatha yogi. And in samatha yogi, this type of tranquility, it's more, people talk about it. Many of the own teachers, they will talk about it. Many of their yogis will talk about this type of tranquility. So because of this type of tranquility, this type of peace, if they meant that type of peace as tranquility, now here again, for samatha yogis, they sit down, mindfulness is already not so strong, and then they develop some degree of practice, and after that, as For example, if they take up the in breath, out breath, then in breath, out breath, in breath, out breath, in breath, out breath, in breath, out breath. Then in breath, out breath again, in breath, out breath, in breath, out breath, in breath. Gone. And then when it's gone, the mind usually does not want to make an exertion to relook in the in breath, out breath again. Normally, they will just let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Oh, I'm letting go everything. I'm falling into peace and calm. To them, it's already jhana. Then they don't realize that it's just craving behind it. They're attached to all this type of state of mind. Uh, uh, Whether samatha or vipassana, internally all works the same manner. The craving comes in, that means the craving will come in. Whether you're on samatha, you think in samatha no craving. Samatha also the craving will come. So when the samatha and the craving comes in, because people talk about it, even more people get attached to it. They get attached to it. And they get attached to it, they forget about their main principal object, that they are supposed to come back. They're supposed to come back to the in-breath, out-breath. They don't come back. They just go into calmness. Those people do metta also the same thing. May I be free from harm and danger. May I be dear. May you, may. Then it will go calm again and nothing much. Then the mind goes into quietness. Then they thought that they go into jhana again. So to like in the vipassana yogis too also. These type of things, as I said, it comes up more obviously in the deeper aspect of the insight. But once in a while, some yogis, because of their inclination, certain inclination, right in the beginning of their retreat, they already have those type of things. Perhaps they may have come from the samatha background, or previous life they have done some meditation. Then they just continue their mental state into this area. So they get stuck into it. They stuck into this type of tranquility. In the beginning process, if you begin to get stuck, your job is quite simple. Just note it. Calm, 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 tranquil, 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 tranquil. Just remind yourself, don't get attached, don't get attached. Just note it will do. Note it. Calm, 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 calm. And sometimes when you begin to see, as the mindfulness becomes clear, if the tranquility is still there, then observe its characteristics. See how the characteristic is like. See how it's calm and peace, and yet the mind is still noting that state of mind. And it's good if you can able to do that. Because you begin to have more experience when this state of mind coming in. So next time when it comes in, you don't fall into it too much. So your job is to make the effort to label it again, to note it again. Calm, 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 calm. Until the mind starts to become active again and it begins to note object. Then it starts to come back to note its object, then you come back to the right path. So too, if you are a samatha meditator, you've got to make the effort again to come back to the in-breath, out-breath, to come back to the may I be free from harm and danger, to come back to the metta again. If not, you get dragged away. Some vipassana also the same. If you don't come back to your principal objects, the vipassana objects, then you get dragged away by that craving, by that delight into it. So the same thing. For as I hear, whether it's joy is more on the active one, this tranquility is more on the passive one, more on the calm state of mind. And the calm state of mind, normally people will attach to it more often than not, compared to the active one. Active one is really so nice already. The joy come in, right? Very pleasant already. But this one, the calm one, is an even more refined state of the mind. So as long as you don't attach to it, then well and good. Usually if a yogi get attached to all this type, of this mental state. Then again, the yogi will, when it goes into long into it now, when they begin to do it again and again without realizing, or without a good teacher, or without a competent teacher to tell them, or without friends or people with experience to tell them that they're going in the wrong way, they will think that they're going the right way. They will definitely think they will go in the right way. Because of that, they will keep doing it and doing it until begin to form a lot of wrong thinking. And that wrong thinking comes with a lot of pride, mana. They conceive, this pride is being conceive it as, I'm better than all of you. I'm better yogi because why? I got all this peace. What do you have? Pain in your buttock. Pain here, pain there. There you see. You still have all this pain here and there. I am all the great one. All these yogi, you see, they sit also so sengek like that. So bend like that. Just look at me, I sit so straight. I'm so calm and peaceful. I walk also like floating on the air also like that. Look at others, they want, you see that one wobble. That one want to fall. You see how the mind, it's all about the pride all coming in. All their pride coming in. Usually it's that type of pride is the ego type of pride. The mana here can be, you think that also you can think that you are the same as others, or you think that you are less than others. You think others are better than you. That is also another form of mana. But usually in the English, we only look into one part of it. But in but in Buddhism, we look at mana in the three different levels. So because of that, all the wrong thinking will start coming in, that you think that you're better than others. You think that you're great. You think that your meditation is wonderful, but actually you're not there. Nothing much. Then with that, as I said, after that, what do you do? What happened to the next one? What happened after all the pride thinking and so on? If you keep on doing it again and again, what happened to it? It goes into wrong view. Wrong view is even worse than all this pride. At least the pride, it can still able to, rectify, But wrong view is almost very difficult already. Once you go into wrong view and you believe that, especially this type of tranquility or concentration, or even like, what is that? Equanimity. Because you have not seen it before now. Joy, at least sometimes we have seen it in our everyday life. The elated, once in a while, the elated type. But the calm type, everyday life, you don't see it. Only when you come to meditation, then you only begin to notice it. But because you don't understand it, you thought that this is something deep and something great. And something great, you think of it, perhaps it could be nibbana, or could it be jhana. Then when you think of it again and again, then later on, you believe that you already have nibbana, you believe that you have jhana. You believe that this is jhana or this is nibbana. And this is not at all, it's just attachment, and it's just craving, and it begins to go into all the wrong view. That's why, as I said, this type of meditation, when things happen like that, sometimes I read certain books, certain Dharma books. I know that already fall into the trap of thinking that this is just nibbana or even jhana, the way they describe the things, then everything is just calm and peaceful and nice and pleasant. How to tell others that this is not? Because sometimes these books are written by monks. The Dharma books are written by monks. But it really, very clearly, is all attachment to all this calm mental state without realizing that this is not nibbana yet. Yeah. Sometimes we tell them, other devotees are not happy. Who do you think you are? Uh, who do you think you are? You know, and up to y'all. Up to y'all. I can only understand it as I very clearly, to me, this is not at all how certain times they describe certain things. So that's why sometimes when you read Dharma books, you all got to be more careful when it starts talking about Nibbana, Jhana, and things like that. There are also real one also. There are also fake one also. They they don't realize it's fake, it's not Musavada, because they think that this is right. They think that it's still right now. So they write it down. So as I said, sometimes when they have all this wrong view, people want to share their view to all others. So if you're not careful, you don't realize that it's all craving just behind it, in everything just explode into all kinds of things and so on. So tranquility is good. It's part of the 7 factors of enlightenment. They are wonderful. If you have it, it calms the whole mind. It clears all your agitation of the mind, and it makes it very quiet. But the thing is that, as I said, don't get too attached to it. As it becomes more prominent, don't get attached to it. Right? So we're going to continue on this tranquility on tomorrow. Don't have. So we continue on Thursday. Okay, we'll stop here for the night. Idam me bhavanam nibbanasa pachayo hotu. May my mental cultivation be a condition for the realization of nibbana. Imang no punya bhagang sabba satanang dema. We share these merits with our departed ones, with all beings and all the devas. Sabbe satta sukhi hontu anumodantu. May all beings be happy. May they rejoice in these merits. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.